Hi, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda, and I'm a close to my heart maker. So today's video is this double page layout featuring the Boo Crew papers from Close to My Heart. So in this paper pack, you get these pink and background with the bats, and our new paper color, or our new color of the year, is Wild Berry. So that's what the pink is, going along with the tangerine. So I'm pulling out some charcoal and tangerine, and then I found this sketch, so I'm just using my photos and kind of laying them out. And then I auditioned different papers as far as what goes behind and where these photos should go. And this is a layout that I'm happy with where it ended, but it just felt really tedious, or it was hard work getting from starting with the photos to getting to the end. But like I said, I'm really happy where everything ended up. So this sketch has dimensions on it, so I'm just actually following the dimensions that they recommend. I do end up adding a zip strip on it, and I'll cut my own embellishments from the Cricut. And because I'm using the Close to My Heart November SVG file, I show you, there's a quick tutorial in this showing you how to get an SVG file once you've purchased it into the Cricut Design Space. So I decided on the pink background, the ballerina background ghost paper as my edging, and where all the hearts are on the sketch, I'll actually end up putting some pumpkins along there. And those stars is just a zip strip that I snagged. And again, I'm just trying to bring out the photos, and in our photos we had blue walls at the farm, and so because of that, several of the photos have a blue cast to them, and to help the actual image in the photo stand out, I'm trying to neutralize the blue in the background by matting it. So I'm just trying to audition different mats, and I didn't want just all square, matte on matte. I wanted to do some that were partial and some that were full, and then I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do some banner ends. So you're gonna see a lot of me auditioning different papers and different sizes, and what can I do with this photo, and I don't think it fits here, and just kind of going back and forth. And I thought about cutting all of this out, but I also thought that sometimes it's nice to see that other people struggle with it, and you just have to just play with it. See what happens. I don't know if you can tell before I put that Wild Berry matting in, but our daughter's shirt, turtleneck, has pink little like strawberries on it, and in real life this Wild Berry as a mat really brings that out, and it actually works really well then with the ballerina background on the ghost paper. And I do know this video is a little longer than what I normally do, but again, I decided instead of cutting out all of the mishaps or the struggles or the part of the process that doesn't end up in the final thing, that I would kind of show some of the iterations. So here I'm showing, if you order an SVG through Close to My Heart, under your account you have a digital library, and you can just select which image you want and download it to your computer. Then you go into Cricut Design Space, and I browse, and I had moved my file into my Cricut SVGs. So I just selected that same file, and now it says cut image, and I'm going to give it a CTMH image name up here. And then I'll also put it tag as a pumpkin. That's just kind of a clue to me to remember what's in the image, because a lot of times if you upload a full scrapbook layout or something, there's always multiple images that sometimes I just want this little thing. Well, in this case, I'm just going to take all the pumpkins out of this image. So you'll see here that it imported now, and so I accidentally grabbed the vines from the pumpkin. That's not what I wanted. So I'm going to delete or hide the November, and then I'm going to hide the background mat, and then I'm going to just place this vine back up on top. And now I'm just going to go ahead and cut several of these pumpkins. And I end up cutting them in both nectarine and wild berry. And then the green pumpkins are actually the base for all of them. So I wanted to show you here that I cut from both ends of the mat with the Cricut. And what's nice about that is I can cut the one layer with the one side of the paper, and then you turn the paper over and cut the next layer, and so you get two tones on your images without even having to do anything. So that's pretty cool with the Close to My Heart dual cardstocks. So I had assembled all of those images off screen. You didn't need to see all of that. And now again, I'm just kind of doing some dry fitting, and I'm trying some banner ends, and here's my pumpkins. Oh, I need to have some more pink ones, I'm sure. So it's kind of nice that with that one November banner or SVG, there was actually 4 different size pumpkins. So it was kind of really easy to just go through and have all of the different sizes, and I did them in the 2 colors. So, and I'm looking at the background after I did all that dry fitting, and it just felt too stark. So I went to my stencils and I found this, I'm going to call it almost like a pinwheel look, and I thought, you know, I'm digging the feel for that. It almost reminds me of a candy wrapper, but it's not quite that feel. So I grabbed some texture paste, and I'm trying to decide what color I want to do. And I decided to go ahead and do Wild Berry. And in hindsight, I wish I would have not have blended it so well. That I kind of wish that I would have left more of the white on the blending mat and then had some darker color with more of the re-inker in it, just to kind of give it a more marbled effect. So some of them I did that with, and I think here in a little bit I'll actually grab some more texture paint when I realize I'm going to need more to do both pages anyhow. And so I'm just working away here and doing the different, yeah, there we go. I grabbed some more of the white just to kind of give it more interest. And the more you spread it, the more it just blends. It's like I've never known a frosting to blend that well with food coloring, but apparently texture paste and re-inker just tries to even out its colors. So you have to work hard to get some of the different colors in there. And then with all the extra texture I had left over, since it was already dyed, I have basic card fronts that are already cut and in the drawer beside me. So I just grabbed a couple of those, and I thought I would use up the rest of my textured paste that was tinted, and I'll just make some cards out of the scraps of this paper, or I'll incorporate it as a photo mat. But this way I don't feel like I'm wasting the textured paste, and I know I'm going to have scraps from this paper because that's just what happens when you create layouts. So these are now dry, and I have kind of forgotten where everything went. So I go back and look at the video that I created and tried to place them again. But it actually ended up being a good thing because, like I said, I really was struggling with these photos, and the jack-o'-lanterns when they were lit weren't that interesting, especially with the vivid colors in the other photos. So I'm really auditioning different ways, different things, trying to figure out what's going to work, looking at the sketch to get my general idea. And like I said, this is just one of those times that you just kind of have to go and play and trust yourself. And I did this over a couple days, and so there was times that either I had to go, it was time my alarm went off and I had to go pick up my son, or he was now home and he wanted to come in and talk to me. And I know that those days of him wanting to talk to me are fleeting, so I do try to pause my world and give him my full attention. So that might have been adding to my complexity of getting this layout done. So here, because I have the 2 photos that are very similar, I'm going to use a flip flap on them, which gives me extra real estate to put those lit jack-o'-lantern pumpkins in the background. And did you notice I slipped in one of the pieces of white that I had added texture to? So that's going to get used right away even on this layout. And I'm pulling in some of the white and some of the pumpkins, and I pulled in a piece of the Capri blue, just again to give a uniform or a continuity to the layout. So it's just a matter of paying attention or making sure that you incorporate the colors that are from other places throughout your layout, whether it's underneath a part or on another page. So here, to get some more continuity, I'm going to go ahead and cut some banner ends on this Capri Blue, and I'm just using my VersaMat to find the center, and I cut a slit up and then I cut from either end up to the center. And they're not perfect, but you know what? I've never once had somebody look at a scrapbook page and go, oh, those cuts are uneven. So if that's what they're looking at, well, by gum, I am giving them lots of opportunities to see those miscuts and things, and they'll be happy campers. So, and here's the flip flap, and I like to put it on my page, and so I sneak it underneath my photo and make sure it's lined up, and then I press it down. And when I go to put this into the album in a page protector, I actually cut a slit in my page protector and I feed this flip flap through it. So I know I've done that in another video where I showed what I did, but I don't have, I'll do one sometime just that shows cutting a page protector for flip flaps, so that you can go back and refer to that. So now, I think this is after dinner one night and everybody's kind of doing their own thing. I come back to the layout and I'm looking at it and I wasn't feeling it. So I decided, you know, I'm just gonna try doing some fuller mats, but kittywampus. And I kind of liked how they were pinwheeling out of the back sides, and it kind of, to me, mimicked the stenciling that was on the layout. So, all right, this is the direction we're going in. So now I'm cutting another banner, again, to kind of bring that wild berry from the left page. And I will remove this sketch sample here in the upper corner so you'll be able to see the full layout here soon. But so I just wanted to have that wild berry, the darker pink, go from the left page through the photos, incorporated in with the pumpkins, and all the way over to the right page. It just brings you through the layout. It's just something that's soothing to your eye, and it just naturally moves you in that direction. So I'm gluing some of these things down, and I didn't feel that I needed to show you all of it. And I don't know if you noticed that I also inked the edges of all of the papers, and I thought about doing it in black because black is obviously one of the colors in the kit, but instead I chose Toffee, again because there's brown in the photos, and the photos have a little more muted feel to them, so I didn't want a starkness, you know, on the edges of the paper competing with the softness that were in the photos. So that's just something to think about. So I softened all the edges of the papers by using that Toffee ink. And then after I put everything down, I'm like, okay, we need something more. We need some black in it. And then I thought the black would be too heavy for the same reason I didn't edge all the edges of the paper in black. So I remembered that I had this tool, and this is something close to my heart, sold years and years ago, and I loved it, and I ran out of what I had from them, and I think I ended up buying some from the local craft store, and I just love how this kind of softens. It adds an element, almost a batty, spidery element, but it's soft, and you can use this so many different ways. You could put this almost like a tissue paper underneath some of the photos, but I was just kind of tucking it in. And I realized that I needed some of the star banners up here on my other vignette. And I'm also looking, I found some gems in my stash. So, and these are not, again, the bright sparkle gems. These are more of the, they're a duller or a matte finish to them. So again, it's not competing with the photos. The photos are still going to be the focus. I'm just kind of bringing your eye and adding some noise to the background to just kind of soften things again. So now you can see in the upper corner how that vignette has the same kind of colors that the vignette on the right page has. And I did my journaling in strip journaling, and this time I did it in a 12-point font, and I didn't do extra spacing. I just left it single spaced, and I like how that came together. And I cut my title on the Cricut, and I'm just showing you again how I use a really thin piece of painter's tape to pull it off of the mat, and it just makes it easier to put down on the layout. So here's a close-up. You can kind of see the different varied colors in that texture paste. You can see all the embellishments that are going on, the details and the brown edging of all the papers. It just, like I said, it was a hard layout. It was a hard fought battle to get this layout done, but I like it. I hope you do too. If you've ever struggled doing a layout, I would love to hear about it and what you use to kind of overcome that. For me, I just kind of walked away and came back, and I would go watch a YouTube video or look at a magazine, just something to get me out of it. So here, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that, and you'll not miss any of the videos that I put out. And then here's another video you may be interested in, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.